Okay, so our template is complete. So in this one, we're just going to relaunch the template again. We're actually going to relaunch it twice. The first time just to see all the changes that we've made, and the second time so that I can show you how change sets work. So you can see that last bastion of defense to make sure you don't accidentally delete something or modify something you don't intend to. So here's the template. Make sure that it is up to speed with what we have done, and hopefully there's no errors in it. But if there are, it'll be good. It'll be a good learning experience. And now I'm over here in the the AWS console, and we're gonna go to CloudFormation, which is just under Management and Governance. So in CloudFormation, once inside of here, we're gonna create a stack. Our template is ready and we do need to upload it. So I'm going to choose to upload a file, select my template.json and click next. Oh, and here we go. So already we can see that we have an invalid property, output. That's because output is not a property, it's outputs. So there we go. There's our first little thing. Like I said, typos, they're going to be the majority of your problem. So with that changed around, let's go in here, choose template.json, open it again, click next, and there we go, error gone. So stack name, what do you want to name this stack? I'm going to just call this security stack, just for simplicity. And we have both the defaults for our parameters. I'm going to just leave those as is. And then for param author name, I'm going to just put my name in lowercase. And then click next. So in here, I'm going to add my tag here, learn CloudFormation, correctly spelled, of course. And we're going to leave all these other settings as is. We don't really need them. And then we'll review it. Everything looks good. Nothing wild or crazy on the review screen. And now I'm going to go ahead and click Create Stack. Now, this is the nice part about using something like a security group to demonstrate CloudFormation, because if we were doing an instance or anything that needed to spin up, you just got to sit here and wait a lot longer. Okay, so here we go. We already have something that's a problem. Rollback in progress. Cannot export output logical ID. Exported values must not be empty or white space only. So let's go ahead and take a look at this problem. Well, I want you to take a look at this. What do you think the problem is? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not either of these two. It's the logical ID right here. It's this little snippet that I made. So this is what I'm talking about. How when you go to make something in CloudFormation, it's going to catch some errors, just like it did. But what did it not catch? Well, it didn't catch that, and it didn't catch it until it was already in the process of making it. And so this is one of those problems. And once you have really large templates, to where you'll get into it, you'll think everything's going fine, and then 10 minutes in, once you think it's about to be done, you get this horrible rollback in progress. Now here we can see that the rollback's complete, and since this is a first-time launch, the rollback is just going to result in it being deleted altogether. And so since this is an empty stack at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and delete it completely. Now, the thing to point out here, again, is when you are doing these things, you can double check all you want, but this is just kind of inevitable. If I just added an extra S here, we would get the exact same problem. It would go through, try and build it, and it still wouldn't work. Okay, so now we have that cleaned up. This should all work out fine. Let's make sure that this is completely deleted, and it is. Let's create a stack again. Let's upload our modified template. And let's make sure that I did save it. I did. Go to next. Let's do this all again. Security stack. My name. And again, this is just to give you the real experience of seeing this all mess up. And on to next. Okay, everything looks good. Create stack. And here we go. We've kicked the process off again. So I'm going to just sit here and wait till this is done, and then we'll get back at it. Okay, and so here we can see that my stack is complete. And if we go to stack info, we can see the different options that we added, including the tags. We go to resources, just like before, we can click into it, see the actual resource itself that we created with all the different rules that we added. And then, of course, we can see the outputs. And here we can see the values. So group ID, there's the group ID, the export name if you wanted to reference it in another template, and then just the other output that we made, templates, and everything else in here. So let's do an update just so we can see how that works. So I'm going to use the current template. And in here, let's not allow SSH access. Let's turn that to false and see what happens. So as we go through the rest of the options here, I'm going to leave the rest of this as is. Down here, this is where we'll get to see change set. This is different. When you update, we can see what exactly is going on. So here's the change set preview. What's it doing? Well, it's going to modify the security group. Is it going to replace it? No, it's not. And this is something you should always check when you're running updates. So let's go ahead and update the stack. And so this is taking its sweet time. Okay, there we go. The update in progress event has kicked off. And given this is such a small change, this should be done pretty quickly. Okay, and it looks like the update has completed. So why don't we hop over to the security group? It should still be in here, and let's refresh it. And then as soon as we refresh it, we see that on the inbound rules, SSH is no longer there. Okay, and there you have it. Yeah, the project is kind of light, but considering just how much there is in CloudFormation, it's so much easier to get the main concepts down in context of something simple. How do we pick something far more complicated, like a network or a server, all these things, they can easily get lost in the information overload of those other topics.